IHSAA Girls State Basketball Tournament presented by the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever. Lady Senators enter this title game after punching their ticket to from last night with a 63-49 win over Shaw Memorial in the first semifinal. Meanwhile, the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran enter with a 20-5 mark overall, and their path to the title game included a 50-33 win over the Lady Lancers of Edinburgh in the nightcap last night. So tonight, it's Championship Saturday. That means it's the host Lady Senators and the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars who will battle it out for the right to cut the nets here in a matter of about an hour and a half or so, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast of Lady Senator Basketball and Sectional 62's championship game will be Senator Football's own Coach Mark Gibson. Well, last night, again, Coach Russell's group started their path to redemption after the heartbreaking loss last year to Crothersville in the title game with a nice win in semifinal action, although it came a little bit harder than some may have expected as Shaw Memorial put up a great battle in a back-and-forth ball game. The Lady Senators were able to finally pull away in the late stages of that one as they prevailed with the 15-point victory behind the 18 points of sophomore Cass Keltner and the primetime play of two seniors in Chelsea Carter and Cora Miller. Here tonight, they'll need that same kind of effort as they take on a Trinity Lutheran team that's already beat them once this year in early January, and they'll try to take care of the interior for the Lady Cougars, which includes 5'11 senior Abby Hackman and 6'1 freshman scoring sensation for the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran, Sydney Jane. So we'll hope for a solid defensive effort tonight for Coach Russell's group and hope that they can be the ones cutting down the nets on their home floor. It's the 20th anniversary of the first sectional title for the girls program, and they'll try to add number 3 here tonight. We want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to our broadcast, and a big shout out to all of our sponsors, John Jones GM City, bringing you our Lady Senator tip-off pregame show, championship coverage here tonight, as well as Eddie Gilstrap Motors, our halftime report sponsor, and Ace Hardware of Salem. That'll bring you all of our post-game here tonight, as well as McDonald's on South Main Street, Salem Walmart, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and Brady Bishop and Channel Seed. We'll take our first break of the night, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Lady Senator head coach Mr. Darren Russell. You're listening to the Lady Senators in the Sectional 62 Championship game on WSLM 1220 on the AM dial. Back with more right after this.
Before the big plays, before the magical moments, before all that discipline, dedication, and teamwork finally pays off, comes your support. The IHSAA Foundation is dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and nurturing education-based athletics in Indiana. Its work will ensure IHSAA member schools and coaches receive the support they need so that Indiana student-athletes receive the opportunity they deserve. Learn more at ihsaafoundation.org.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of our special championship coverage of Sectional 62 in this girls basketball sectional here from West Washington High School, as tonight the Lady Senators go for gold and will try to cut down their own nets here on their home floor if they can take care of the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran. And we're joined now on our pregame show by Lady Senator head coach Darren Russell. Coach, let's start with last night's big semifinal win, 63-49, the final against what proved to be a very much improved Shaw Memorial team.
Yeah, name of the game right now is survive and advance, and we did. Everybody wanted to say it was going to be an easy game because we beat them 30-some earlier in the year, but they've improved a lot from the beginning of the year. They played a game already in sectional. This was our first game, so I knew we'd come out with some jitters, and they played with nothing to lose, and they got after it. Probably the biggest improvement I saw in them was their ability to take care of the ball. First game we forced 43 turnovers, and last night they only had 15, or we had them with 15. So they did an excellent job improving over the course of the year. Obviously they had two really good players in Grote and the Hesse girl. and they go for 23 and 20, but they earned those points. I felt like our defense, I felt, was pretty good the entire time and really made them work to get their points. So, happy with that. I was really pleased with our effort for the entire game. We talked, I think, last night, even though the shots weren't falling, that didn't affect us on the defensive end, and our intensity and our effort. We stayed after it, and that's what they got to do.
And of course, you got the balanced effort last night. All 5 girls that started come up big for you, especially 2 of your post players, Maddie and Cass, chip in with 18 and 10 respectively. And then, of course, Chelsea Carter. Can't say enough about the play of not only her, but Cora Miller coming off the bench, especially through the final 3 quarters of play.
Yeah, Chelsea and Cora are seniors, and they played like seniors last night. Sometimes in the past, in sectional games, they were a little bit nervous, but last night they came out and played like seniors and really played a huge role in that. Cassidy, Shaw had nobody that could match up with her, and I just felt she was extremely dominant inside, and we're going to need that same type of effort tonight. Maddie was her usual self, getting in, making some hustle plays, but more importantly, her defense on Grote was a big part of the victory.
Coach, how much of a concern, though, in the victory last night was the fact that you only got to the free throw line 9 times, with 6 of those coming in the fourth quarter?
That's a big concern. That's something we talked about this morning, is going right at Hackman and James inside, because they want to block a lot of shots. So we talked about going into them strong, don't just shying away from contact, but go at them. Plan on getting the and 1, or at least get to the free throw line for 2, and make those girls get in foul trouble where they've got to sit for a while. So we'll see, but I feel really good about Cass, Maddie, and Cora going strong at them tonight.
Well, of course, the Lady Senators prevails again, 63-49, the final last night, and that punches their ticket to tonight's championship tilt with Trinity Lutheran. No stranger to this group of girls, as they played back on January 4th right out of the Christmas break, and it was a 61-55 victory for the Lady Cougars, a game where they stretched it out to as many as 16 in the late stages. But Coach, your team found a way to find some inner grit and inner fire and fight back and just come up a little bit short.
Yeah, I felt like that game may have been a turning point for us as far as the effort that we're given, because for the first 2.5 or 3.5 quarters, I was not impressed with the effort that we gave, but when they started playing hard and forcing Trinity into turnovers, they started to realize what we was talking about going hard all the time, and that's kind of carried over. And we had a few games after that maybe we didn't give that type of effort, but they bought back into that, and I mean especially the last 2 games has just been outstanding.
And of course, Coach, as well as anybody what Coach Lang's team offers personnel-wise, and of course it starts in the front court with the likes of Sydney James, the 6'1" freshman, and then 5'11" senior Abby Hackman, which was a handful last night for Edinburgh.
Yeah, I mean, James is the tallest one, 6'1", 6'2", freshman. But the one that really scares me is Hackman. I mean, she is a load inside, not nearly as big, about 5'9", 5'10", but she is very strong. She is very skilled when she gets it underneath. And, we're going to try and take their ability to get it into them away. The first game we did a pretty good job of limiting what they did inside and also getting both of those girls in foul trouble. So, we're going to do a lot of the same things. If they beat us from the outside, they're going to beat us from the outside. But, the focal point tonight is make it extremely difficult to get it into those 2 girls.
And not so much for Hackman as much as for James, but getting good closeouts on her, because you go back and I've watched that tape as well from the first meeting, and James, every time she got something good, it was because of a slow closeout on hers, because she's got a little bit of range for her size, but Hackman more so, just one of those pounded inside to her, and she loves that drop step baseline.
She sure does, and that's the number one thing we're going to look to take away, and we'll see early on how effective we're going to be with that, because they're going to go to her early and they're going to go to her often. James, we did a really good job with her the first time of just being physical with her. I thought in the first meeting Maddie did a nice job of really making her work pushing her around a little bit, and she did not like it. And she got in foul trouble, and it didn't seem to bother her too much that she was sitting on the bench. So, we hope to do the same type of things with her tonight.
And Coach, also reflecting back to that first meeting, it was a game where their backside defense in the post really was non-existent. So, could be a situation tonight where Maddie, Cora, and Cass could have a field day if we can pound it into them quick.
Yeah, it looks like that from what we saw the first time, what we saw last night, what I saw last week when I went and watched them. But I've got a feeling that they're going to do everything they can to take our inside game away and make us be able to score from the outside. So that's when you got to have Chelsea, you got to have Ryan, you got to have Hattie, Taylor step up and be able to make some outside shots.
And of course that means relocating off the post entry will be big, getting those feet set and ready to shoot, because it's been a little bit of a struggle, it seems like, in the last couple of weeks for your team from downtown.
Yeah, it is. And part of that is we have focused more on getting the ball inside the last few weeks. Early in the year, we're firing up 25, 30 threes. And since that point in time, the last few weeks, we've cut that down to maybe 10, 12 threes a game. So, we're not shooting as many, but we definitely got to knock them down when we take them.
What other keys to victory are important for your ball club tonight?
Rebounding. That's what we talked to the kids about today is we out-rebound them the first time. That's something we definitely got to do again, and it all starts with positioning. The first meeting may have been the best total team blockout we've had in the last couple of years. And as a result, we got them in foul trouble. We got to the free throw line some, but again, most importantly, their big girls were sitting on the bench a lot. So, that's going to be important, as well as taking care of the ball. We can't have the silly turnovers or the unforced turnovers. Every possession tonight is very valuable, so we can't give those up.
Agreed, because watching them last night, Coach, it seemed like they had some other girls step up. I was really impressed with Piper Acton's physicality on defense, and that led to her getting some things in transition and on the offensive end as well. So she possibly could be an X factor.
Definitely. Every time you play Trinity, Piper is the X factor, because when you look out there, she looks like a ball player. She's got that look to her. She's long, athletic, but some nights she's just not as active as others. But again, same situation as Chelsea and Cora. She's a senior. Hackman's a senior. It's going to be a matter of who wants it the worst tonight. But definitely, we know where Piper is going to be, and we know we got to close out on her, because she is probably their best three-point shooter.
And that was my conversation with Lady Senator head coach, Mr. Darren Russell, prior to our championship game. Let's quickly bring you our keys to victory, brought to you by John Jones GM City. Getting ahead of myself a little bit, Coach, here. The nerves, even in my stomach, and butterflies are kicked up. Keys to victory brought to you by John Jones GM City. First and foremost, post defense. Got to deny Janes around the floor in the half court. Got to get into Hackman a little bit and deny the drop steps. Secondly, rebounding. Limit them to one and dones. That one put back opportunity and one killed us in the last meeting. And then patience under pressure. No need to rush things. Be patient. Get solid looks. Those keys to victory brought to you by John Jones GM City. Phone them at 1-800-ISELL-GM, 1-800-473-5546, or stop by their beautiful showroom and lot.
Our great nation this afternoon as Hannah Hudgerwood sings our national anthem.
Poor
tonight. Spotlight was on the flag, lights were down, and the lights are back up, and it's go time here tonight between the Lady Cougars and host Lady Senators. Welcome to championship coverage here in sectional 62 they're on Smith Court. First, let's bring you the starting lineups brought to you by John Jones GM City. Brought to you by John Jones, 1-800-473-5546 or 1-800-I-SELL-GM. Also check out their showroom and lot at 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones GM City. You see so many because they paid so little. First for the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars. It's going to get loud in here tonight, folks. Trinity Lutheran 20-5 on the year. Head coach is Mike Lang. He owns a 103-58 mark in his 7th season. They average 52.6 and they give up 39.4. They beat Edinburgh 50-33 in last night's semifinal round. They have 2 tournament titles in 2013 and 2014 to the program's credit. 2-guard set, number 5, Jody Gerker, 5'4" and a senior at 3.8 points per game. Will start in the backcourt at the point guard spot. She'll be joined by 25, Savannah Harwager, 5'9", and a junior at 10.3 points per game and 5 rebounds. At the small forward, 24, Piper Acton, 5'10", and a senior at 8.8 points per game and 2 boards. Up front, the Twin Towers for the Lady Cougars, 33, Sydney Janes, and 45, Abby Hackman. Janes goes 6'1", and a freshman, leads the team in rebounding and scoring along with Hackman. Janes has 11.6 per game and 7.5 boards. Hackman at 13.5 points, 9.5 rebounds for the Lady Cougars. Meanwhile, for Coach Darren Russell and his Lady Senators, 16-8 their record overall, and he is 42-32 in his 3rd season. They average 63.3 and give up 51.1. Last night it was a 63-49 win over Shaw Memorial. Tournament titles for this Lady Senator program at 98 and 99. They'll start a 3-guard set. Hattie Griffiths, a 5'5" junior at 9.7 points per game and 4.5 boards. Ryan Russell, a 5'7" sophomore at 10.1 per game, joins her in the backcourt with Chelsea Carter, a 5'4" senior at 12.3 per game to lead the team. Up front, Maddie Bausman and Cassidy Keltner will take control of the paint. 5'10" and a junior, Maddie averages 10.9 and 7.5 rebounds. Cassidy Keltner, a 5'11" sophomore at 8.9 points per game and 6 boards. Tonight's championship officials from the Indiana High School Athletic Association, Mr. Brett Williamson, Mr. Mike Braun, and Mr. Randy Fry. Lady Senators on their home floor, but in their traveling blues, trimmed in red and white with red letters and numerals. Lady Cougars in the home white threads here on the road in championship action. Blue and gold trim, blue letters and numerals as the Lady Cougars control the opening tip, and we are underway in this championship matchup. Glad to have you along on 12:20 as Hackman goes deep into the post, misses her shot. Gerker got an offensive rebound and couldn't put it back, and the Lady Senators on the run. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson. Craig Akers running the live stream feed, the video of this one. Again, so happy to have you along on 12:20. Lady Senators trying to end a 19-year streak, or drought rather, without a title. Trying to add number 3 to the showcase. Maddie, deep 3 from the football field. Off the mark, no good. Strong rebound for Keltner. Underneath, nowhere to go. Has to kick out to Carter. 2 dribbles, gets in the paint. Wild shot up off the glass is good. The Lady Senators deliver the first blow, and they have an early 2-0 advantage. Lady Senators will come out. A little trapping pressure out top. Little 1-3-1 pressure. Love it already, Coach.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's
We
the
might
steal.
throw a little 1-3-1 at him.
Maddie gets the steal, but then she loses it out of bounds. So they force the first turnover. This is something Coach Russell and I had a conversation about a couple of weeks ago. Felt that maybe this team would struggle against 1-3-1 pressure with Maddie out top with her length and
Yeah,
quickness.
I don't remember seeing a 1-3-1 the first time we played, though. We threw the press at him, but not the 1-3-1 trap.
Lady Senators have kept that one in the garage, and they break it out, and they force 2 turnovers early with the 1-3-1 pressure. My favorite defense for any team in the half court. I know a lot of people say stick to your man-to-man principles, but a 1-3-1 can be absolutely lethal.
Especially with our length. I mean, Maddie's long, Ryan's long, Cassie's long. You know, it makes it tough for passing lanes.
Tough man-to-man defense in the half court forces Carter into another tough shot. This one won't go. So man-to-man for the Lady Cougars to start. Hackman going baseline, turns off glass and got it to go, and that's in the scouting report. Got to take away that shoulder drop step to the baseline. Griffiths, dribble drive, hesitation, nowhere to go. She'll kick it out and throw it into the hands of the freshman, James. She'll work against Maddie, gets into the paint, loses the handle to Gerker. Out to Acton, 3, looks good, is good. Piper Acton with her first shot of the night, and it's 5-2, Trinity Lutheran.
Yeah, that's part of the scouting report. I mean, you just talked with Coach Russell in the pregame about you got to watch out Acton coming from 3.
Maddie turns it over. She's trying to feed in the post cross court. And then the Lady Cougars going to give it right back as Ryan comes up with the steal. 3 turnovers for the Cougars, 3 for the Lady Senators. And again, stick with us. It's loud in this environment tonight in the friendly confines. Not so friendly if you're a Lady Cougar because there's a lot of Senator Nation on hand tonight in red.
It's a good start for the Cougars. We've turned the ball over a few times, a couple wild shots.
Another one for Carter. She's had 3 runners. The first one went. Starting to feel it a little bit too early. She's tried 2 more and couldn't get them to go underneath. They go right to James. She stops, pops, can't get it to go, and Maddie pulls the defensive rebound. And the Lady Senators will push to the other end. Griffiths into the front court. 3 minutes gone by in this one. It's a 5-2 lead early for the Lady Cougars. Little 5-0 scoring run for Coach Lang's group. Underneath on the kick out. They try to go out to Hattie. It was poked away. Gerker with the steal into the other end. Has it poked away. Great defensive hands by Ryan to knock it away in transition.
Hattie needs to calm down. She's a little amped up.
I think we all are, Coach. My nerves are absolutely shot. It's been like this for two and a half, 3 hours. 3 ball for Gerker on the inbounds. Well short. Rebound pulled down by Carter. We'll race it to the other end. Hattie, 1-on-4, smart decision to pull it out. Something we don't always do as we try to push. Given a post ISO to Keltner, we got to get it to the wing so we have an angle. Instead, Hattie goes to Maddie on the baseline. Maddie gets cut off, nowhere to go. She'll throw it out to Hattie and they'll reset it. Back to Maddie on the wing. She'll stop and fire, has it blocked by James. Offensive rebound off to Ryan Russell. Her putback won't go. Hattie gets an offensive rebound. Carter goes in strong to Hackman, no whistle, so 2 offensive boards, 3 shots, nothing doing for the Lady Senators and to the other end. It is Savannah Harwager with her first basket in transition, and it is a 7-0 run for the Lady Cougars and a 30-second timeout for Coach Russell and his Lady Senators. 4:05 to play. First quarter. We'll step aside for a second to get station identification. You're listening to Sectional 62 Championship coverage on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Lady Senators with 3 early turnovers in this one. 3 for the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran as well. Neither team has committed a foul to this juncture. Nearly halfway through this first quarter of play. It's a current 7-0 run for the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran. They'll stick with the man-to-man. And it'll be Gerker kind of face guarding Ryan over in the far corner. And it's Hackman that comes out to slowly hedge on the screen action. Hattie changes speed, tries to feed down low to Cass, turns it over. And now we'll have our first foul of the night. This will go on the Lady Senators. No angle there for that post entry. And the foul's going to go on Cassidy Keltner.
I don't know. Yeah, that was Hattie. That was Hattie.
Now they're going to have to correct it.
Yeah, you don't want Cassidy to get any kind of foul
trouble. Cassidy picked up the foul, or at least according to Brett Williamson, the #1 official. He'll confer now with Mike Braun. Should have been on Hattie instead of Cass. And they're staying with 10, and that's a poor call from your top 3 officials. First foul of the night on Cassidy Keltner, so the Lady Cougars will reset. And they're going to go with a little spread look here, a little 2-1-2 with Janes in the middle, trying to break pressure as they extend that 1-3-1 beyond half court. They give up a backside rebound, and Hackman cleans it up. Coach, you know all about defenses and drops in zones. Even in football, it's the same principles with basketball. You've got to cover your zone, and you got to be able to rotate some, and we're not rotating and digging hard enough on the backside.
Yeah, somebody's got to help out.
Kick out to Janes. 16-foot jumper true, and the freshman with her first 2 of the night, and it's now an 11-0 run for the Lady Cougars, 11-2. Lady Senators getting good pressure, but no backside help in that 1-3-1.
Nobody's rotating around.
Miller into the ball game, and Cora's first shot comes up short. Rebound comes off to her. She'll kick to Maddie. 3-ball corner off the backboard. It will not go. Hit it off the side. Gerker leads the break down to Harwager. She'll take contact. No foul, but she'll make the basket. And that's 4 for her. And this crowd has come to life behind us and to our right. It is a 13-0 run for the Lady Cougars. And it's turnovers. It's not the 1-3-1 pressure except for the backside giving up the offensive rebound. It's our decision making in the half court, Coach.
Yeah, poor decisions or just, bad shots. That long rebounds have been leading to some leak outs and some run outs. And yeah, when we're set, when we set our defense, we've got them to turn it over a couple of times. But yeah, they are running us to death right now. And like you said, it's all because of turnovers, bad decisions, or bad shots.
Patty Griffiths had checked out. And so had Maddie Bausman as Taylor Fouch, the 5'6" sophomore, checks in for her first minutes of the night at 5.2 points per game and nearly 3 rebounds. Cora Miller also in, the 5'9" senior, averages 7.5 for Coach Russell, so already 7 deep into the rotation.
It's really early, but you got to start getting some buckets here. Somebody's got to knock down a jump shot.
The senior, Chelsea Carter, controls it out front, gives it off to Fouch. Fouch right back to Carter. 2.5 to go first quarter. It's 13-2. Hot start for the Lady Cougars. They'll go in the post to Miller. Her turnaround jumper way off the mark. Coach, I preached this to Maddie and to Cassidy in the last 3 days plus. It's going to have to be a turn and face with a pump fake and get those girls moving laterally.
Even Cass and Cora, both times she shot, it's just turn and shoot.
Their lateral movement, Janes and Hackman's, neither one very good. If you watch them closely in scouting, you've got to have better defensive awareness of what they're offering you. And they're going to give you that lateral movement, but our girls content just to turn and try to fire over the top. First foul of the night on the Cougars.
We did that a lot in several games that we've seen, especially somebody that has the size like Nice from Salem. We just kind of went right into him without making her move.
Savannah Harwager picks up the first foul of the night for Trinity Lutheran as Carter goes wildly into the paint, throws up another hope and prayer. Really wild takes. This time, though, she's going to draw contact, and that's going to go on a Harwager. Back-to-back fouls for her. Be 17th foul, and it will be probably a substitution upcoming soon. So Savannah Harwager with 2 quick personals here. As Chelsea Carter goes to the free throw line, rattles the first home. That ends a 13-0 run for the Lady Cougars as 21, Maddie Bell, a 5'4" junior, who played well off the bench in that first meeting back on January 4th, checks in. She averages 2 a game. Meanwhile, Carter's second free throw upcoming. It is up and it is good. So Chelsea able to get them both, makes it now a 13-4 score. Bell controls in the backcourt with Acton, Janes, and Gerker. They'll kick it ahead now to Hackman. Back out to Bell to Gerker. She thought about 3. Instead, they go to Acton. Janes will try to go high-low. Hackman hanging out in the paint. They'll kick out to Gerker, and she passes up the 3. 2-3 zone this trip for the Lady Senators. We've seen the 1-3-1 as well. Sagging back in that 2-3, trying to clog up the middle and maybe give a little more rebounding help on the backside of the zone. And it's going to be last touched by Ryan, and she was given Acton Fitz on the wing.
Really not sure how that didn't skim off her shoulder or head or something, but at least we're getting some active hands. And especially if you're going to play 2-3, you got to have active hands, or at least hands up. What did you say the other day? Hands down, man down, right?
Yep. Hackman catches in the paint. We bottle her up. She's forced to kick it out to Janes, to Bell. Now back to Hackman, immediately triple team. They kick out to Janes and leave her open. She misses the jumper, but nobody gets contact on Hackman, even though we come up with it on the loose ball in the corner. Leading the break, Cass Keltner tries to step through. She traveled, nowhere to go with it. Switch pivot feet again. Kicks out Miller's 3 way off the mark. And this crowd from Trinity Lutheran getting fired up quick. Cass got away with a couple of Texas two-steps.
She might have got away with 2 walks there.
Maddie waiting at the scorer's bench to check back in. Again, a loud environment here tonight in a packed house. 45 seconds to play in this first quarter. 13-4. Hackman catches. Forced to dribble out of trouble in the corner. She'll skip it cross court to Maddie Bell, who can't hold on. That's turnover number 4 for the Lady Cougars, and that'll bring in Maddie Bausman. And she will spell Chelsea Carter. Hattie Griffiths will come in. She'll spell Ryan. So right now we'll roll with Fouch out there with Griffiths. Maddie, Cora, and Cass, our big front line, all in together.
Need a bucket here. 35 seconds to go. You know, it's very early. We didn't get down to 16 until the second half last time we played them.
And that was with about 4 minutes to play before we made a run.
You got to settle down and make some shots.
And underneath, Cora gets hooked up with Acton. And they're going to get Acton for the foul as she talks to Williamson and tries to get an explanation. And so the foul goes on Piper Acton. Team foul number 3, her first of the night. 3-1 on the foul count early. 21.5 seconds to go. Coach Lang getting an explanation as Maddie gets the long inbounds pass. She'll cross over, work the dribble against James. And we'll have a foul. And this one is going to go on Savannah. Check that Sydney James on the bump.
I didn't see that one.
She bumped Maddie off the dribble drive. Her first, team foul number 4. And now they're going to have to separate the usually very quiet
it's Cora and Piper Acton getting. Yeah, I don't know if I've heard Cora say 5 words in.
Cora's a former student of mine, and I can tell you right now about the most calm and cool player you'll ever see on the basketball floor and in the classroom.
You can't throw that there.
Getting a little bit heated, and the Lady Senators turn it over for their 5th time.
That happened in the boys' game today. Holden, you can't throw that pass there because it's just going to lead the guy out of bounds.
Coach Lang calling for a timeout. Gets it from Randy Fry. 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here with 17.1 to go in this first quarter of play. Opening act from Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium in this sectional 62 championship. Lady Senators trailing at 13-4 after a first basket by Chelsea Carter to get us going and got the crowd into it. The Lady Cougars fire back with 13 straight points, and they control it now by 9. And we'll see if we can't get a stop on this last possession for Trinity Lutheran.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time, finishing quarters strong, whether it's with a big stop or with a big bucket. So right now, I would think Coach Lang would told his ladies that we want to make sure we get the last shot. So big stop here with 15 seconds to go.
Senators pulling out their 3rd defense out of the bag, a 1-2-2. And they'll try to sag high post. And have to be aware of where Hackman's at on the backside board. Can't give up a cheap one here as Acton gets into the paint. Runner won't go. Off to Cora Miller, and time's going to expire. First quarter in the books from West Washington High School. Sectional 62's championship game in Class 1A. A battle of top 10 teams in Class 1A. Lady Senators and the Lady Cougars 13-4 after the first stop. Lady Senators trailing it by 9. We'll come back with second quarter action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back for second quarter action to begin, and Coach Lady Senators will have it out of the break. And it's not panic button time, but you certainly would like a basket out of the quarter break.
A bucket would be big for confidence here.
Lady Senators spread the floor here against the man-to-man for the Lady Cougars, and will be whistled for a double dribble. Cass Keltner across the way, whistled for the double. Turnover number 6 for the Lady Senators.
Yeah,
Lady
they have to clean
Senators-
it up. If they've got 6 already, we just started the second quarter. I mean, that's a pace for 20 plus turnovers.
Lady Senators again ended the regular season ranked number 10 in Class 1A. Trinity Lutheran fell to number 9 as they get a stop on that first possession for Trinity Lutheran. They forced their 5th turnover. Ryan Russell, deep 3, couldn't get it to go off glass, and will come back the other way. Maddie, though, steals it away from Sydney James, and then it'll be a over and back. And Coach Russell will have a talk with Mike Braun there. Thought she got bumped.
Call. Yeah, I didn't. Maybe.
Maddie Bell's going to check out. Coach Lane going to roll the dice with Savannah Harwager with those 2 personals. 7:18 to go before the halftime break. 13-4. Lady Senators back to a 2-3 zone.
We talked about it. I mean, sometimes it's easy. It comes down to making shots. They made 6 shots. We made 2.
And Coach, there it is. Second personal on Sydney James, and the scouting report tells you one thing. Every time in the first meeting that we were able to get a quick closeout or a quick double, it was either a turnover or a kick out. James wanted nothing to do with it, and there, after the turnover, she commits her second personal, but she fouled out of that first meeting between the two as Russell controls it in the backcourt. So 7 turnovers for the Lady Cougars, and then Ryan Russell dribbles it right off her foot, so neither team can hold on to the rock. Butterfingers for both. Now 8 turnovers for the Lady Senators. Got a whistle and a stoppage of play. And Coach Lang very upset, maybe with his staff. Not sure. Had a substitution as Sydney James checks out with the 2 personals. Maddie Bell comes right back in, so he'll have to work without his freshman scoring sensation, Sydney James, although the other twin tower, Hackman's still in there. And Piper Acton, who was very deadly last night for them against Edinburgh, in there as well on the wing. Hackman pump fake against Keltner, drives, no foul. She may have got away with one, but we give up another offensive rebound to Harwager. Shot blocked as Cora blocked Bell, and rebound's going to ping pong out of bounds, and it will go to the Lady Senators. 6:23 to go in this first half. Coach, you talked about it at the end of our broadcast today with the boys against Scottsburg. Coming out, getting a hot start is important no matter whether you're on the road or at home in a sectional championship game. We've seen it too many times in other sports. And right now, Lady Senators searching for some kind of answer, and they get one with Cora Miller. Nice post move down low on the feed from Maddie Bausman, and it's now 13-6.
Yeah, we talked about it. I mean, it calms the nerves. I mean, it is, no matter if it's regular season, and especially, I mean, if it's championship time, you want a hot start.
Abby Hackman, though, with the big jumper from the free throw line, makes it 15-6. Back to a 9-point advantage.
Got to answer points with points.
Ryan Russell catches on the wing, left side. Looks in the high post. Cass trying to post up against Hackman, who's denying her. Miller with it, gives it dangerously back out to Russell. Cass now works the dribble drive against Hackman and takes her off the dribble. I told Cassidy sitting down here tonight, the scorer's bench, she hates lateral movement defensively. We talked about it earlier. As a result, draw a personal, and Maddie Bell's going to check out. James is going to come back in with the 2 personals, as well as Hackman picked up her first team foul, number 6.
I'd have a real tough time coaching with this guy. I'm sorry. I've been watching your coach, man. He is.
And the crazy part,
I guess we'll say intense, but there might be another word for
the
it.
crazy part is he's got Donna Sullivan, who is a Hall of Fame coach for many years and had success at Seymour, as well as his assistant, who returned after a little hiatus and was with them during the 13 and 14 title runs. As Miller misses the jumper, offensive rebound. Maddie has her shot blocked. Coach Russell wanted a foul, and now we'll have a jump ball as Cass is able to tie up Harwager. And the jump ball arrow will go to Trinity Lutheran at the 5:02 mark. Griffiths in, Cass out. 6-1 foul count. That's definitely in favor of the Lady Senators. Just 1 foul thus far, that one on Keltner, although it should have been called on Hattie earlier. 3 minutes gone by in the second quarter. A little 2-2-1 zone pressure. They get it to James in the middle. Textbook press break as they get it off to Acton. Now to Hackman in the corner. Back out to Gerker. She'll slow things up, and she'll stare down a 2-3 zone with Cora Miller sitting in the middle. They get to Hackman. High post. jumper won't go. Rebound fought for. James and Maddie both there, and it's last touch by Sydney James. And Trinity Lutheran fans do not like that call. Thought Maddie touched it last, but nonetheless, 4:38 counting. Senators back to the offensive end.
Yeah, we need a bucket here, 15-6. You know, we need a feel-good bucket here. I mean, we try to. They're letting them play. They're letting them play pretty physical. I don't know what they're yelling about, but.
And Chelsea Carter tries to throw a lob, but way over the head of Cora Miller. Not sure where that one was headed. Didn't wait for the high-low post to develop out of their motion set. He was able to get that some in the first game, and they was giving us everything with no backside help. Nice defensive pressure and rotation by Cora on the backside. But, Coach, when they go into that motion set, we bring our opposite post to the high post. And what we was getting in that first matchup was an opportunity to pin low and get the high-low action. We didn't wait for it to develop on that last set as they lob it into Hackman. And Miller with a clean block, and that's going to now draw the disgust of Senator Nation. And this will be on Miller. Her first, team foul number 2.
If you remember, Hackman made a living in the fourth quarter at the free throw line the first time we met. I actually have it.
Hackman 2.
15 points all in the second half. She had 11 fourth quarter points, and I think 5 or 6 of them were free throws.
Hackman, though, long on that first attempt. First attempt of the night for the Lady Cougars from the charity stripe. Second one on the way is good. So she's got 7 now in this first half, make it 16-6. Largest lead of the night was 11 at 13-2, and Griffiths misses a wide open layup. Hackman comes out of there with it. Front court to James, just across the timeline, as James will leave it off now for Acton out top. 3:43 and counting. Lady Senators in the matchup 2-3, and now we'll have a foul out front. Team foul number 3 for the Lady Senators, and this one will go on Chelsea Carter, her first. Taylor Fouch, the 5'7" sophomore, 5'6" sophomore rather, back in for Carter, who will have a seat. 16-6, second double-digit lead of the night for the Lady Cougars. One tie, one lead change thus far. Hackman with it out top, didn't want to use the dribble, tries to swing it across to Harwager, who loses it out of bounds. Turnover number 4 of the period, now 8.5 for the Lady Cougars. They're trying to let us
yeah,
stay in this,
Coach. They're giving us every opportunity, but we just can't throw it in the ocean. I mean, this quarter alone, we're 1 for 5. That's coming out for a 2 of 9.
Maddie for 3, top of the key, won't go. Strong offensive rebound for Cora Miller. And they'll kick it out to Griffiths. Griffiths now goes to Maddie, baseline. She'll work against James. Pull up jumper.
Nothing on the ball.
Rattles in and out. James pulls down the rebound. They'll throw ahead to Acton as she gets it into the front court now. In the corner to Harwager. Look to go off the dribble. Cora cuts it off. They'll throw down low to James. And she's tied up. It should have been a jump ball, but she misses the layup. And Ryan Russell comes out of there with it. Maddie leading the break, pushing down the side. Trinity Lutheran fans wanted a carry, did not get it. As the pace frenzies here, 2:43 and counting. Lady Senators trailing at 16-6, not much in the way of offense. Fouch will feed down low to Maddie. She'll try to go up and under, turns, had her in the air, kicks it out to Cora. Her jumper won't go, but Maddie gets an offensive rebound, back up and in. Big rebound for Maddie on the offensive glass, put it up over the outstretched arms of Sydney James, her first points of the night, and it's a 16-8 score. Hackman now, pump fake.
Why?
Got Miller to bite, she left it short. Miller with the rebound. And then they're going to call a jump ball on the baseline. I thought they were going to get Hackman for an over the back. And Mike Braun will tell Coach Russell to settle down a little bit as Keltner and Carter will check in. Miller's going to get a break, and so will Ryan Russell. So it's out there on the floor right now. It's Fouch out there with Cassidy, Hattie, Chelsea Carter, Taylor Fouch, and Maddie Bousman. That's the 5 right now for Coach Russell.
A bucket here, and you're right back in the thick of things.
They'll pin down low. They get Keltner. She's quickly double teamed. She steps through. Kicks it over now to Griffiths. To Maddie. 16-foot jumper will go from the elbow. Maddie comes to life. She's got back-to-back baskets, and it's 16-10. And Lady Senator fans, Senator Nation now coming to their feet. Big cheer block on hand as well. Acton tries to throw on the post. They'll turn it over. 5th turnover now of the quarter alone. And then a bump in the front court, and that's going to go on Piper Acton. And for Acton, that's going to be her second, along with James and Harwager, each one with 2 apiece. That's team foul number 7, and we'll have bonus basketball from the free throw line, as this will be Chelsea Carter's 3rd attempt upcoming, 1 and the bonus.
A game like this, boy, free throws are huge.
And the senior, in the words of Stuart Scott from Sports Center, the great late Stuart Scott, as cool as the other side of the pillow. She knocks the first one down.
Our first game, we were 13 of 25, just over 50% from the line.
And she misses that one. First miss of the night. 16 to 11, and now we'll have a rebounding foul. This game getting extremely physical, as Maddie's going to pick up the personal, her first, team foul number 4. And Brett Williamson comes over to the scorer's bench, show his displeasure. Didn't like apparently something that was said from the scorer's table, as the Lady Cougars turn it over for the 6th time in the quarter. And now we'll have a foul underneath, and that may be, that's going to be Acton's 3rd, team foul number 8. Minute 20 to play. And Coach Lang doesn't like the call. That'll bring Maddie Bell off the bench. Maddie, though, can't get anything going from the free throw line. Short on the front end of the 1 and bonus. Timeout on the floor, as the Lady Senators have a little bit of life back in them. 16 to 11. It is a timeout, a 30-second timeout called by the Lady Cougars. Minute 15 to go here before the halftime break. Again, 16 to 11, and Coach, right now, with Acton having 3, and she's the big X factor. She was so good for them last night against Edinburgh. James with 2, Harwager with 2. Right now, fouls definitely serve us in favor of, as far as foul trouble is concerned, and some of their stars in foul trouble. But we have to get a good end to the half. If we could take momentum into the locker room, but you can't let a team like this reel off a couple of quick baskets and seize that momentum back going into the locker room.
Yeah, it's just a 5-point deficit right now. Yeah, and we talk about it, whether it's the girls' games or boys. You finish halves, quarters, and halves as strong as you can, because they're momentum. I mean, they build or break momentum.
And out front, nice dribble drive take, but it would not go. And that's going to be a rebounding foul. This one's going to be on Hackman, so that's her second. So James, Hackman, Harwager, all with 2 apiece. Piper Acton with 3. As the fouls start to rack up, that's team foul number 9. And Cass Keltner now will walk to the other end of the floor for her first.
Can we stand the pressure and knock down free throws? Like I said, first time we were just over 50%. For the game. So, I mean, you got to knock them down. If you're going to beat a good team, you got to knock down free throws.
And Cass Keltner short on that first attempt, so she can't get the 1 and the bonus. Settles for the 1 and leaves it short. So free throws a bit of a woe right now for a team that's just a 65% shooting team. And from the corner, shot off the mark, no good. It would not go to Harwager, and now we'll have a jump ball as Gerker was working backside board against Addie. And on the jump ball, it will stay with Trinity Lutheran.
Hey, and I was going to talk about rebounding being a tall task for as big as they are, but Gerker had 5 boards against us, 3 offensive last time.
Hackman underneath, missed it. Fouch now will lead the break. 1 on 3 and has it blocked from behind by James, who saves it in. But then, nope, she stepped on the baseline. Got so loud, didn't hardly hear the whistle. That's turnover number 7 of the quarter. 11.5 now for the Lady Cougars. And now Taylor Fouch will hear it from the cheer block to our right from Trinity Lutheran. Coach, that's something we've seen us not be very good with, is patience. against the pressure on the break, especially when we don't have numbers. We got a tendency to want to take too many times whenever it's 1-on-3, 1-on-4.
Right, and you know, that's one of the things we always talk about, decision making. That's not just decision making in your passes, decision making and when to break and when to slow the tempo. You know, we've got to be smarter.
Lady Senators come up dry on that possession as Cass Keltner's shot bounced off the rim to the top of the backboard, and now we'll have a stoppage of play, kick ball.
And
so
you
it'll
said
be.
they are 1 for 9. You know, they're trying to let us take momentum from them.
And underneath, that's a long 5 count, and we finally get it. Force another turnover with good defense and pressure. Now 12 and a half, 8 in this quarter, 15.6 on the clock. Lady Senators with a chance to get a big basket going into the half. 16-11. Lady Senators haven't led since it was 2-0. Carter with it. Now in to Cass Keltner. She turns off glass. Shot won't go. Comes off to James. Now to Harwager. And time will expire before she hits the layup. So we will go to the locker room after a wild, wacky, and very physical first half of play, with the Lady Cougars owning a low-scoring advantage at 16-11. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back, and we will begin our Lady Senator halftime report, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. You're listening to championship coverage in sectional 62 and Lady Senator basketball on Salem's 1220.
Hello, police. I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy. He knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Back to begin our halftime report. Lady Senator halftime report and championship action here tonight in sectional 62, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, your local Ford dealer just south of the square in Salem on Main Street. Stop in and see Steve Motsinger and the crew if you're looking for a beautiful Ford ride to get you around this upcoming spring. At the half, low scoring affair, 16-11. Your halftime score. Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran out in front. Pretty balanced effort from the starters in that first half for Coach Lang's crew. Abby Hackman leads all Lady Cougar scores with 7, including 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 4 for Savannah Harwager, 3 for Piper Acton, and Sydney James with a very quiet 2 points in that first half. Again, she averages 11.6 per game. Jody Gerker with no points. Point guard doing the job, handling the rock, but just not getting a chance to score much. Passed up a couple of good looks. Just a little timid out there right now for the Lady Cougars. And off the bench, Maddie Bell, the only girl to play in the 6 lady rotation. She goes scoreless as well. Lady Cougars just 1 of 2 from the free throw line for 50%, but 12 turnovers, including 8 of those 12 coming in the first half of play. And now for the Lady Senators here at the half, just 3 girls in the scoring column. 2 of those starters, Maddie Bausman with 4, and Chelsea Carter leads the way with 5. Cassidy Keltner 0 for 1 from the free throw line. Maddie Bausman 0 for 1 from the free throw line, and Chelsea Carter 3 of 4 here at the break from the charity stripe. Ryan Russell and Hattie Griffiths yet to score in the backcourt trio. Cora Miller and Taylor Fouch play off the bench. Cora chips in 2. Fouch scoreless through the first half of play. Lady Senators go 3 of 6 from the free throw line for just 50% in this one thus far, with 9 first half turnovers. 5 of those 9 coming in the first quarter of play. After the first quarter, Lady Senators got out to the 2-0 lead. It was a 13-4 score. As we get another score, we'll update here in just a minute. Lady Senators, though, trailed at 13-4, courtesy of that 13-0 run for the Lady Cougars. And then in the second quarter, Lady Senators bounce back. They outscore the Lady Cougars 7-3 in that low-scoring period, and they lead at 16-11 over West Washington here at the halftime break, as Aaron Dennis gives us a halftime score update off of Becky White's Facebook. At the half, Scottsburg, the Lady Warriors, and the Hall of Famer Donna Cheatham winning as coach in girls basketball high school history here in the state of Indiana. 26-14, they lead it over the Lady Lions up at the Lions Den at the half. So both of the county schools going to have to dig deep here if they want titles, and to be cutting down the nets here in just an hour or so, as we got about 4.5 minutes before the start of the second half. Let's step aside. Let's get in a sponsor real quick when we come back, and we'll let Coach Gibson run down the team statistics for us in this one. You're listening to coverage of Sectional 62 in the 43rd Annual IHSAA Girls State Basketball Tournament on WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MediView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Welcome back courtside, Ron Smith Court, where we are at halftime. We got 3 minutes to go before the start of the second half. Right now, the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran leading 16-11. Just a few stats. You know, Coach, I thought the first time we shot 2 of 11 from 3 for 18%, I thought, well, that's got to improve. No, we went 0 for 6 from behind the arc. So we got to start knocking down some buckets. Lady Senators go 4 of 18 from inside the arc, 0 of 6, like I said. So we're basically shooting 20%, and that may not get it done. Fortunately for us, the Lady Cougars are shooting 6 for 20 inside the arc for 30%, 1 for 2 from 3. So they're shooting 32% to our 20. And that's probably the biggest thing. And obviously, we've turned the ball over way too much. Board battle is kind of what we thought. They're actually leading at 17-14 right now. And if you were listening to Coach Russell's pregame, that we actually out-rebounded the Lady Cougars the first time around. But right now, they own a 17-14 board advantage. So it comes down to making shots. And do we have the grit, the guts, and the battle to take this second half? And it's gonna be, you know, how physical was that first half? Boy, it was physical, helter-skelter, hectic. That's the type of game that is won with your grit, your guts, and your heart. So we'll see what the Lady Senators can do.
And you better bring every bit of that when you're fighting for a title, like I said earlier, whether you're on your home floor or not. Just to mention, in that first meeting, again, it was a 25-22 halftime score. And in the third quarter, Lady Senators got worked 17-10 before trying to roar back from a 16-point deficit, made a way through that fourth quarter of play. About a minute and a half, or just under a minute and a half to go before the start of the third quarter of action. That'll do it for our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Lady Senator halftime report. We'll step aside here, a word from the sponsor. We'll come back with third quarter action right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back here at the friendly confines, Ron Smith Court. We are ready to get the second half underway. It will be Lady Senator basketball to start this third quarter of action and need a big basket in a big way. A basket could cut it to 3 or possibly to 2 if we can get a 3 out of it as they throw it dangerously in the backcourt. Gerker was given chase to Ryan Russell underneath. Cass Keltner will be whistled for the travel as they brought a quick double team. That's now turnover number 10 on the night for the Lady Senators. So not the start you want out of the locker room.
Now we talked about you got to have a good start. Good start. You want to set the tone, you know, who's going to grab momentum first. It looked like Cass was expecting somebody to come down the lane.
Back to the 1-3-1, and Coach, we force a turnover. Let me say this. For my personal taste, I don't like it extended above half court. I like to start it just below the center circle, between the center circle and where that volleyball spike line would normally be. I think we're giving up too much real estate.
To get out of position if you start too far out.
But nice up and under move as Cass Keltner goes to work on Abby Hackman with those 2 personals. As Keltner has her first points of the night out of the half, and it's 16-13. Lady Senators still in striking distance. Kick out. James, 3 balls good for the freshman. She's got her second field goal. Huge shot, makes it now 19-13. Again, Lady Cougars and Lady Senators each with the lead in this one. And it was as much as an 11-point lead in that first half as Maddie works the dribble, gives it to Keltner. She turns. Looked like she got fouled by James. No call. Clean block apparently as Hackman saves it and gives it off to Maddie Bell. She tries to skip it cross court, had it poked away, and Gerker control out front. She's double teamed. They give it to Hackman to James. And now we'll have a foul out top. Randy Fry with the whistle. And they're going to get Gerker with the player control. And now she'll talk to Randy Fry and get an explanation. And Coach Lang giving it to Mike Braun. Turnover number 14 for the Lady Cougars. Costly here, and the Lady Senators a chance to dig back deep again.
Got to seize. They're giving us opportunities all night long to get back into this game.
Keltner into the mid-post. Fadeaway jumper goes over Hackman. She stopped, had nowhere to go, and threw up a hope and a prayer off the window, and it goes in. It's now 19-15.
Right there. That was living on a prayer.
1-3-1 extended, but no one back. Got to drop backside, Coach, as Hackman catches deep against Chelsea Carter, and that's trouble. Again, this is why I don't like the 1-3-1 extended. You got to suck that back a little bit because, again, you know this from football. You're playing different zone coverages. Sometimes you allow bubbles to form, and guys can get into those empty spots on the field. Same way here when we go that out front with the pressure. It gives too much opportunity for no one to rotate backside and then to skip it over. And this time getting it in to Hackman. She finishes at the free throw line. If you condense that down a little bit more, Coach, it makes it much easier to rotate and dig backside.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're in a 4-4 and your outside backer has the flat,
yep,
and they run like a little curl flat action, you don't want to expand to the flat because that opens up the curl area.
Correct. 9 for Hackman. She hit both of them, makes it now 21-15. Maddie, step back J, won't go. Air ball too strong, but an offensive putback by Ryan Russell will go. And that's Russell's first basket of the night, make it now 21-17. Gerker nowhere to go, hounded by Maddie in the backcourt. They go back to Gerker as she'll work it against Griffiths. She goes in strong, takes contact, no whistle. Hackman gets the tip out, so we'll give it to Hackman on the offensive board. She's the one that made it happen as James catches, high post, 3-ball, rattles in and out, no good, but an offensive putback. A second one for Hackman, it won't go. And then a foul, so Hackman gets an offensive rebound out of the deal, and Harwager gets 2. And because of these second chance opportunities, it will be Harwager who goes to the line. She's got 4 on the night. Harwager, a 59% free throw shooter, her first attempts of the game. That foul on Ryan Russell, her first of the night. Team foul number 2. Carter picked up the other one already in the half. 2-1 on the foul count. First free throw up and good. Second one wouldn't go. Another back tap for Hackman. Nobody, Coach, you got to get a bitey on a girl like her. You can't just let her stand. In that first game, watched the tape twice and ran it back. All of her offensive glass work come on those tip backs or back tips as she works in the post. This time she comes up short. Lady Senators come out of there with it. 3 minutes gone by in the third.
Rough deal right there. Harwager ended up with 4 offensive boards just in a little segment there.
22-17. Carter has it stripped away for just a moment, but Hattie saves it. Cassidy controls. She'll work the dribble now. Tries to cross over against Hackman. Gets into the paint. Loses the handle for a moment. Leaves it off to Hattie, who blows an open layup. But Cass Keltner with the offensive putback in off the glass. Keltner with 6. All in this quarter. It's now 22-19. Closest it's been in some time. At the 4.5-minute mark of the third quarter. James out front, 5-second count on. Carter with the steal from behind on the feed to the high post. Carter goes in, draws contact, and then a charging call. And Coach Russell can't believe it. Williamson with the call. So that'll go as turnover number 11, and for Carter, her third. I didn't personally think that Gerker had her hips turned enough to establish position, but she gets the benefit of the doubt. And Carter will set with the 3 personals.
Again, and this happened in the first time when we were making our comeback. We get a 1-possession game, and we, turnover.
1 step forward, 2 steps back. James has it out front. Kicks in the corner. Harwager, wide open layup. She misses it, and then Russell poked it away. It'll stay with the Lady Cougars off the rebound attempt. Halfway through this third quarter, it's 22-19. They'll kick cross corner, and Gerker with a 3. So check that. It's Acton with the 3, her second triple of the night. And she's got 6. It's now 25-19, and then Maddie loses the handle. Turnover number 12, and they'll race it to the other end. And it's going to be, Coach Lang thought it was going to be a foul, but instead it's Acton who's whistled for stepping on the sideline. Turnover number 4 of the quarter, and now 16 in the game for the Lady Cougars. So they have chances. We have chances to get back in it. We get it close and then do something silly. They have a chance to expand the lead and do the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of a sloppy game, but that's how. But it's real physical, and that can make it sloppy.
Maddie, long 2, way off the mark, no good. She got it on the little back feed from Keltner. And she'll hear it now from the Trinity Lutheran cheer block as Maddie will get a quick breather.
That makes us 0 for 7 from behind the arc.
She was just inside.
It would just, just inside?
She was just inside. Okay. Towed the line. Usually I'm the one that don't catch that, so didn't mean to correct you. Just want to make sure your stats were right. And underneath, we give up a wide open backdoor feed to Savannah Harwager, who now has 7. Just like that, it's 27-19. And to the other end, Cass Keltner able to answer 8 points all in this quarter. Now 6-point game at 27-21. Under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. And Fouch in, and she's face guarding Acton across the way. Gerker catches, pump fake on the switch. We're in trouble here because it's Hattie on Janes, and now they switch back again. Gerker takes in amongst the trees, partial block for Cora Miller, but an offensive rebound comes off to Janes, and we cannot get her or Hackman off the glass right now, Coach.
No, Hackman has 5 rebounds, and that's 7 for Janes.
So Janes to the free throw line as Fouch picks up her first of the night, team foul number 4, and Sydney Janes to the free throw line for the first time tonight. She's got 6 now in the ball game, looking for number 7. She's a 72% free throw shooter. Second one long and off the mark. What was that?
What are they in the quarter from the line?
They are 4 of 6. Lady Senators back at it, down 7 at 28-21. Keltner, she'll take a 3 wide open, tried to bank it in, would not go. Looked good, just a little too strong, and Gerker in the backcourt nearly had it poked away. She'll give it off to Janes, and the 6'1 freshman will bring it up. She stops, pops, 17-footer, won't go. Rebound though. Another offensive rebound comes off to Savannah Harwager. And a foul on Fouch, her second.
5th offensive rebound this quarter. She's just hanging around. Nobody's boxing anybody out. Nobody's jumping for a rebound.
Harwager back to the free throw line. Hits the first. She averages 10.3 a game, but only shoots it at 59%. Substitution as Maddie will come in for Hattie. But after the first made free throw by Harwager, who's now 2 of 3 in the quarter, it's a timeout for the Lady Cougars. It will have to be a full, leaving him with 2 fulls. That is Coach Lang. Coach Russell will have 2 and 1. We'll step aside, take a break, and come back with more third quarter action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back out of the timeout for Trinity Lutheran. Savannah Harwager back to the free throw line. 2:10 to play in the third. She knocks the second one down. She now has 5 in the period, 9 in the ball game. And it is now a 30-21 score. And the Lady Senators turn it over for the 13th time, but then the Lady Cougars give it right back, still for Ryan Russell, and she gets hammered as she gets knocked to the floor. And Gerker is going to pick up the personal. That's her second one of the night. Team foul number 2 of the half. And so it'll be on the floor. Russell to inbound. Box set as they spread the floor. They get it to Fouch. She's given room here. Not sure why she's not shooting it. Now she will on the closeout by Hackman, and Fouch knocks one down from downtown. Taylor's got her first points of the night off the bench. It is now 30-24.
1:36 to go. Yeah, this is another one of those. If we can get a stop here and another score, and boy, we're in for a whale of a fourth quarter.
And they tried to go down low to Sydney Janes working against Maddie. They'll instead skip it cross court to Hackman. They're giving her the long 2. She gets into the paint, throws up a wild shot. We're too late moving our feet. Our rotations have been terrible
I was
tonight.
just getting ready to say there's a lot of ladies out there standing straight up, not in a stance. I don't know if we're tired or what, but I mean, you're not going to be able to move laterally standing straight up in a non-athletic stance.
First free throw on the way is good. for Abby Hackman. She now has 10.
We have 6 fouls to their 2. You know, we don't want them living at the free throw line. That'll make comeback all that much more slim.
The next one will put the Lady Cougars in the bonus the rest of the way home as she knocks them both down. She's now 5 of 6 on the night. It is 32-24, minute 20 to go and counting in this third quarter. That second foul a while ago on Cass Keltner. Again, team foul number 6. And Fouch catches out front. If they give her space again, she's got to be willing to let it fly.
That's
Keltner,
a foul.
Turnaround jumper. She can't get it to go. Strong rebound. But it's going to be a walk.
That's a foul.
That's all right. We just got it back there, Coach.
I was going to say they should be happy because
Yeah.
that could have been another one on Acton.
So 6th turnover of the quarter now, 18 in the game for the Lady Cougars. And Maddie Bell will poke it away on the inbounds play. Just got a score update, 33-31 at the end of the third quarter. Donna Cheatham's Lady Warriorettes up by 2 going into the fourth, up at Salem, and a rebounding foul off the miss from Maddie out top. And a frustration foul at that. And this one against the Lady Senators, that's the 7th, Coach. So here we go. Can the Lady Cougars, a 60% team from the free throw line, get it done here and salt this one away for a title? We'll see. With 56.3, we walk to the other end, and guess who? Savannah Harwager, who's already 3 for 4 on the night. 1 and bonus for Harwager. That foul was on Russell, her 3rd. First free throw is up and good.
Yeah,
33-24.
They're going to live at the line. We're in big trouble.
Back to a double-digit lead of 10, 34-24. Third time tonight they've led by double figures. Underneath, Keltner catches up and under, strong take, couldn't get it, offensive rebound, back up and in for Keltner. Coach, she's got 10 all in the quarter, 34-26.
Big stop, big stop.
Lady Senators will extend pressure out front as James works against Maddie. Shot blocked by Keltner on the leak out. Fouch has it, 1-on-1, working against Acton, loses the handle. It goes as a turnover, 5th of the quarter, and then we'll give a foul. Fouch just totally lost the handle, slipped out of her hands, working against Acton. And a turnover, costly because we give up a foul in transition. Team foul number 8 against the Lady Senators, and this will be on Griffiths, her 1st. Back to the line the Lady Cougars go, again in the bonus the rest of the way home. First free throw up and good. Acton now with 7 on the night, her 1st attempts from the line. Make it 35-26.
They've shot a ton of free throws this quarter.
That one up and good as well. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 in the quarter. They are 12 of 14 in the third, Coach. 26-36. 4th double-digit lead of the night. Maddie will take the dribble drive against James, misses the layup. Rebound's going to come off to Acton. She'll dribble out of trouble and leave it for Gerker. She'll throw it ahead, and a half-court heave almost goes. It rims out. Folks, it is crunch time. We roll into the 4th quarter of play. Lady Senators got to dig deep one time. Can they do it? Well, they almost come back from 16 down in the first meeting. They trail it 36-26 going into the 4th. We'll come back with the 4th quarter of action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup. And the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Lady Cougars open up with the ball. Fourth quarter underway. They trail it 36-26. And the Lady Cougars playing with house money right now, so to speak, as they're in the bonus the rest of the way. Again, they went 12 of 14 from the free throw line alone. 12 of 14 in the third quarter, and the Lady Senators are going to give up team foul number 9 here. And Maddie's going to pick up her second. 7:27 to go to the finish line, or at least the end of regulation. And another free throw up and good for Piper Acton, who's now 3 of 3 on the night. 37-26. Second one up and good as well. She's now 4 of 4 on the night and coached biggest lead of the night at 38-26. Again, can the Lady Senators make another run like they did in the first meeting?
Yeah, had written down on my little note cards that if we let them get out to double digits again this game, that we would be in big, big trouble. And we are. Something's got to give. We don't have any momentum. We're ladies kind of looking at each other. Somebody's got to hit a big bucket.
Team foul number 3 for the Lady Cougars. That one on Janes. As the Lady Senators come up with an offensive board. That was Maddie that come up with it. Keltner into the mid-post, dribble, drive, take, right side. She'll be fouled on her way to the hoop. Good take for Keltner. Stops the clock with 7:05 to play. And the foul is going to go against Acton, and that's huge because that's her fourth, coach. Team foul number 4.
We got to start hitting. We're 3 of 6, right, from the line. Yep. We're 3 of 6. They're 13 of 16. I think that's a big key stat.
Especially when you're on your home floor for the title. Not to say that you shouldn't get homered, by anybody, but
you're used to playing here. It's a comfortable environment. I think it shows that we haven't been properly aggressive. I don't know how to say that. We haven't been aggressive enough, or
just the 7th and 8th free throws of the night as Keltner knocks them both down. She's now 2 of 3 on the night. Makes it 38-28. The Lady Senators force a turnover on the inbounds attempt as they bring pressure again in the full court. So 10-point lead, 7:02 to play again. It was a 54-38, 16-point advantage for the Lady Cougars with about 4 minutes to play back on January 4th on this very floor. Lady Senators got it down to about a 3 or 4 point ball game before giving up a big and one putback off of an offensive board. Carter misses the step back jumper, airballs it. Janes controls it with Gerker in the backcourt as Gerker gets it back from Janes and races it down. They kick corner, Bell, deep shot, rattles in. They're going to count the basket. It's a long 2. So they're going to count the basket. And there'll be a foul on the Lady Cougars. No, that was Bell. Bell's got her first points of the night. The foul should have been on Hackman, her third, I believe. It is team foul number 5, but the basket was good before the foul. And then the Lady Senators going to throw it carelessly into the backcourt for turnover number 15 on the night. Fouch will check in for Bousman. Lady Senators got to dig deep. About a minute and a half gone by here in the fourth. 40-28, matching the largest lead of the night. And Jane's going to kick it out now to Bell, who's hounded on the right side. They'll go to Hackman high post. They kick back corner. And a little hand check foul, and that's going to be 3 on Fouch. Team foul number 10, so double bonus the rest of the way now. As it was Savannah Harwager who tried to go off the dribble drive. And she'll step back to the free throw line again. Lady Cougars just 1 of 2 in the first half from the free throw line, but put up 12 of 14 in that third quarter. They've already went 2 for 2 in this final period of play, and that one a miss for Harwager. Savannah Harwager on the year, a 59% free throw shooter.
Got to make sure we box out here. That's hurt us at times.
Second one is up and good.
Okay, you got to make your move. It's a 13-point deficit with 6 minutes to go.
Largest lead of the night. Another miss for the Lady Senators. Fouch with an offensive rebound. The kick out to Miller. They go on, try to go underneath. They had Russell working against Gerker. Threw it away on the lob feed. And now 7 turnovers in the half for the Lady Senators, and another foul. This one on Carter, her 4th. Team foul number 11, and Coach Russell is going to try to stop the bleeding. Timeout on the floor with 6:02 to play. Full timeout for Coach Russell. We'll step aside and get a full timeout in as well. Lady Senators trail it by 13. Back with more right after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks. We just bought a fixer-upper, and I don't know where to begin. So I went to see Paul at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nate we have everything he needs to help him repair their home, from a wide selection of paint colors, craftsman tools, and the best lawn and garden brands.
Ace is a place with exactly what you need, starting with help.
Save big all month long on Red Hot buys at Ace Hardware of Salem. Find current savings at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
Lady Senators struggling from the field in this half, much like they did in the first half of play, as out of the timeout, Jody Gerker to the free throw line, just a 66% shooter. She's still scoreless on the night, missed the first. 41-28, again, largest lead of the night at 13. Lady Lions trailing at 35-33 at last check, early stages of the fourth. As Gerker gets her first point of the night, 42-28, 14-point lead. And they continue to give fits. Does this cheer block from Trinity Lutheran to the Lady Senators, who turn it over now for the 8th time of the half, 17th of the game. And they'll try to go to Janes in the high post. Now they'll pin Hackman down low. Good defensive prowess as Cass Keltner comes up with the steal. Turnover number 8 of the half. Now 20 in the game for the Lady Cougars. Again, this is the number 9 and number 10 teams in Class 1A going at it. Miss underneath for Russell, won't go. Rebound comes off to the Lady Cougars as Harwager safely gets it into the front court. Russell tries to knock it away. It'll stay with the Lady Cougars in front of Coach Lang and his assistants. 5:21 to go. Russell out, Griffiths in. (42-28). And Coach Lang let his girls spread the floor and go a little dribble drive if needed. Long 2 on the way. This time will not go for Maddie Bell, and a rebounding foul on the Lady Senators. This will be team foul number 12. And the foul's going to go on Maddie Bausman, her 3rd. 3:38 to go at Salem. Salem down 2. So again, both county teams facing a bit of trouble. Lady Senators a little bit more trouble than what the Lady Lions are facing right now, as the freshman Sydney Jane steps up, knocks down her first. Now 2 of 3 on the night. She's got 7 now in the game, make it 8. She knocks them both through the bottom of the net. 44-28, Coach, here we go. 16-point lead, almost identical. It was 54-38 the first time, now it's 44-28. But the Lady Senators turn it over as Fouch tried to feed Miller. That's turnover number 18 in the ball game.
Yeah, we're in some trouble here. I don't see any confidence out. I mean, in our ladies, I see no confidence in the eyes right now.
Timeout on the floor, taken by Coach Lang. He's got 2 fouls remaining. 5 minutes even to play in this one. 44-28. Lady Senators down 16. We'll step aside, take a break, and come back with more right after this.
At Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Back we come to the Ron Smith court. 5 minutes to play in regulation, and it does not look good for the Lady Senators. Down 16. The full court pressure kind of got them back into it in the first go around, and they force a turnover on the long feet ahead. Hackman couldn't hold on. Gerker wanted a shove off across the way. Does not get it. And Chelsea Carter checks in. Fouch will check out. That's turnover number 9 of the half. Now 21 in the game for the Lady Cougars.
21. That's not going to get it done in a sectional final. 21. You
think if you'd forced 21 turnovers, though, you would be in a little bit better shape than down 16.
Oh, they're not shooting real well. The Trinity Lutheran's not shooting real well, except from the line, where we're putting them time and time again.
And a foul on Gerker. Coach Lang can't believe it. He thought it was an offensive foul on a shove-off by Griffiths. Gerker picks up her 3rd, team foul number 6.
Yeah, I'm not too sure he's seen a call he's ever agreed with.
Next one will put the Lady Senators in the bonus. Bell's going to check out of the ball game. Harwager back in, out there with Acton, James, Hackman, and Gerker. And they'll try to throw it out deep. They do to Keltner, but we got to go quick. She'll try to work it against Hackman, crosses her over, and then has it swiped from behind by Gerker. And then Cass chucks her out of bounds, out of frustration. Turnover number 10, now 19 in the game. And so Gerker now will walk to the other end where she's 1 of 2 on the night. 66% shooter on the year. Foul on Keltner, her 3rd.
Somebody's got to warn her. There's no communication. There's no rotation. Somebody's got to warn her that Gerker's coming from behind to get that back tap, but everybody's just standing around watching.
And Gerker knocks down the first. She's got 2 points on the night. 2 of 3. Russell in, Miller out. 4:34 to play. Second free throw on the way for the senior point guard, and she gets it to go. Now 3 of 4, accounting for all of her points, and it's now the largest lead at 46.
Senators shooting 26% for the game.
46,
Couple that with 21
Carter, deep
turnovers.
3. That one won't go. Cassidy with an offensive rebound, kicks it out to Griffiths, and she had it poked away by Acton. 4:18 to play. 46-28. Griffiths controls it out front. Gotta go, don't have time to stand around. Maddie pump fakes on a 3. Nowhere to go, got it cut off by James. Kicks it back out to Griffiths. Maddie will try a deep 3. That one in and out, no good. Another good look, just would not fall, and now a rebounding foul. And I believe this one's gonna go against the Lady Cougars, actually. And they're gonna get Gerker for her 4th, team foul number 7. Salem is. Scottsburg's up 3 with a minute. Scottsburg's up 3 with a minute and a half to play at Salem. Trying to keep people informed of what's going on here.
It's definitely not looking good here.
That foul on Gerker sends Hattie to the line for the 1-and bonus on the rebounding foul. That's Hattie's first point of the night. 1-and bonus again. Makes it now 46-29. We've been stuck on 28 forever and a day. And Hattie knocks them both down.
I think we scored 4 points this quarter, all on free throws.
And so Hattie knocks them both down. Makes it 46-30. And off of the steal and then the Trinity Lutheran foul, James picks up her 4th. Team foul number 8. So now Ryan Russell to the free throw line for the first time tonight. And Russell hits the first. Ryan, one of the better free throw shooters on this team, 76%. Salem's up 4. And Russell connects on the second. So check that. Salem up 3, now up 4. With about a minute and a half or about a minute probably to go. Sounds like that one's going to come down to free throws as well. Lady Cougars get it into the front court. 3:47 and counting here. 46-32, 14-point game. Gonna have to make a move quick. And Fouch gets the near poke away. She got the steal, but then fell out of bounds with it. Didn't really have possession, just enough to knock it away as she fell to the floor. 46-32. Get it into Hackman. She'll dribble out of trouble, come all the way across the floor and give it off to Janes out top. Janes nowhere to go with it. Counted out front by Maddie. 5 counts on. And we'll have a foul before Coach Lane can burn a timeout. He might have helped Mike Braun with the call as Maddie picks up her 4th. Team foul number 13. And with 3:25 to go, freshman Sydney James back to the free throw line. First one is up, ain't good. Again, James, a 72% free throw shooter. She is now 4 out of 5 on the night. Second free throw was no good, but we give up an offensive rebound to Hackman, and the senior forward or center imposing her will with her strength down low as James controls it out front.
They're dominating the boards as well. I think going into the fourth quarter, they had a 10 rebound edge, and it's gotten worse this quarter.
They'll kick it cross court. Pass goes to Harwager, now over to James. Under 3 minutes to play. She drives baseline, gets bumped, kicks out, and the Lady Cougars, a very savvy move to bring it back out to half court, start working some clock. They're starting to smell it just a little bit. Foul given up by Russell on the near side. And for Ryan, that's her 4th. Foul starting to rack up. Now 14 and a half. So that's Russell, Carter, Bausman, all with 4 apiece. Keltner and Fouch with 3 apiece with 2:44 to go. And Hackman to the free throw line. 5 or 6 already on the night, and she knocks another one home. 48-32. She makes this one, will be the largest lead of the night. That one rings out, no good. But they'll wipe that one off. And we'll shoot it again. Lane violation.
Nothing going right for the Lady Senators from Jump Street.
And
over the back.
Lady Senators finally going to draw a personal, and that one going to go on Savannah Harwager, her 3rd, team foul number 9. As we'll walk to the other end. See if we can't get an update on Salem's situation. Salem up 4 with 12 seconds to play. Looks like the Lady Lions are going to get one against Scottsburg. And it's going to be Carter and Russell that check out. Right now on the floor, Maddie out there with Cassidy and Cora across the front line. Fouch in the backcourt with Griffiths. Free throw up and rattles home for Cass Keltner. 48-33.
Having 10 of 14 right from the line. So in the second half, they're 22 of 28. Oof.
Cass misses the second one. Hackman pulls down the rebound. Coming up on 2.5 to play. They'll throw it ahead.
Half of their points have come from the free throw line.
Hackman over to Acton. Nowhere to go with it. She'll give it back to Hackman. 2.5 to go. Coming up on that 2-minute warning. Lady Senators still trying to give chase to the ball. Just a matter of keep away right now for the Lady Cougars. Acton has it, dribbles out of trouble, gives it back to Harwager, to Acton. And the Lady Cougar faithful behind us and to our immediate right come to their feet, and they'll give up the foul, and that will be Taylor Fouch's 4th, team foul number 15. And that'll send Hackman back to the free throw line. And the senior, she's imposed her will again for sure. And as the first free throw is up and good. 49-33. 2:10 to go. Second free throw upcoming. And it's good as well. 50-33, now the largest lead of the night. And Russell will fire a deep three that's way off the mark. Acton pulls down the rebound, splits a double team, gives it off to Gerker. And the Trinity Lutheran faithful starting to celebrate a little early. Coach Lang ordered an intentional foul. Cass just trying to give it up out front on Acton. Keltner now with 4. Minute 51 to play. Acton to the line where she's already 4 of 4 on the night. First one is up and good. 51-33.
At the line.
Maddie and Cass going to check out. And they're starting to feel it a little bit. 51-33, second one is up and good as well for Acton. Now 6 for 6 on the night. She's got 12 in the ball game. 52-33, and a turnover for the Lady Senators, and that's just kind of the way the ball's bounced tonight. That's now 20 turnovers for the Lady Senators, and they'll give up a foul on Janes as she gets it into the front court. That'll be 5.
Foul number 3, Ryan Russell, that's her 4th.
Check that, just her 4th. Minute 39 to go. And first free throw is up and good for Janes.
Substitution 20, Taylor Foul.
Score.
And 35.
Lady Lions win their sectional 42-36. Minute 39 to go. 53-33, make it 54-33 as Janes knocks them both down. And Carter misses the layup. Fouch with an offensive rebound, tries to kick out to Bailey Rowland to the ball game for her first minutes of the night, along with Allie Brown, the other senior. So the 4 seniors out there with Fouch and a full timeout. Coach Lang will burn his final one of the night. Minute 21 to go, and this one all but over, just a formality now. 54-33. Timeout on the floor. We'll step aside, take a break, get in the commercial spot as well.
Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
To action here it's going to be a 5 count. Turnover number 11 of the half, 23 in the game for the Lady Cougars. Janes will check out, Acton will check out, and Hackman, the big 3 for the Lady Cougars. Number 40, number 50, and number 23 into the ball game. That's Delaney Machino, a 5'10 junior, out there with Anna Sabotin, 5'11, and a sophomore, and Emma Gerker as well. Lauren Fleetwood into the ball game. And a whistle and a foul. This will be team foul number 10, double bonus for the Lady Senators, and that'll send the senior Chelsea Carter to the free throw line.
Shooting percentage is not going to be pretty at all.
No.
Oh boy.
Carter misses, and Maddie Bell's going to check out of the ball game. 54-33. We got 54-34 with 52.7 on the clock. And with the basketball, Emma Gerker's going to give it off to Delaney Machino. She gives it off out top to Savannah Setti, also into the ball game for her first minutes of the night. 30 seconds to play. Out front, pressure applied by the 2 seniors. And Machino will dribble out of trouble. 20 seconds to play, and Fouch will give up the foul out front. And that will be 5 for Fouch. She will check out on team foul number 16. And we will see the freshmen Lexi Griffiths, Sarah Stice, and Gracie Abels all check in. And Carter going to check out, as well as the other 3 seniors, Miller, Brown, and Roll, as the tears start to flow. And Coach Russell hugs and consoles Chelsea Carter, who falls into his arms. 18.7 on the clock. Delaney Machino. And she can't hit that one, but it's double bonus. Getting a 16th personal.
I think what game was it? The boys' game, was it Crawford maybe, where we only scored 8 points in 2 quarters, a second and a fourth, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. That kind of did us in here tonight too.
And Machino gets one of the 2 free throws to fall, makes it 55-34.
Scored 7 points in the second quarter and 9 in the fourth.
And no field goals to boot.
Yeah.
Russell with a deep 3, still can't get one to go. Rebound comes off to Gracie Abels. 3 for Lexi Griffiths is an air ball. And the Lady Cougars, 55-34 winners here tonight. 55-34 your final, as the Lady Cougars are going to claim their 3rd title in school history. And ironically enough, Coach, guess what? All 3 of their titles have come against the Lady Senators. They beat them in 13, they beat them in 14, then they beat them, those 2 were at Valley in Orleans, and then they beat them here tonight on their
Valley
home floor.
was double overtime, if I remember, maybe triple.
Both games were like last-second 3-pointers. Yep.
Yeah, the Lady Cougars have been kind of a thorn in the Lady Senators' side.
And Coach Bausman will come out, and I know he's got a heavy, broken heart right now, as he's going to hand the runner-up game ball to the seniors. Carter, Brown, Roll, and Miller. And we'll have the trophy presentation here in just a moment, as the Lady Senators will walk off the floor and take another runner-up ball for the trophy case. 2 years in a row they've suffered heartbreak. And the Lady Cougars will celebrate as they hoist the title with their seniors, Acton, Harwager out there with Gerker and Hackman. Big time play for Harwager and Acton. Those were kind of the X factors. Gerker did just enough handling the rock. And Hackman, of course, a force on the post. Kind of a subdued celebration. The rest of the fan base hasn't come out onto the floor. Some of the boys did come out. They were asked to step off the floor to get some individual team pictures. And now some fans will start to make their way down. Lady Senators, though, again, they fall here tonight. Your final score, 55-34. And we'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back and begin our post-game show brought to you by Ace Hardware of Salem right after this.
Hello, police. I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer? Nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel seamanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Back here to the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium, where tonight the Lady Senators fall once again in championship action. Second straight year where they have fell in the championship game. And coach, this one a little saltier than last year, just for the simple fact Lady Senators fall on their home floor to the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars. Again, a team that's kind of had their number in championship play, as that is now 3 tournament titles in the young program's history for Trinity Lutheran, and all 3 of them coming to, or at the hands rather, of the Lady Senators, as the Lady Cougars start to cut the net. They'll be back here next Saturday as the Lady Senators play host to regional basketball action. Lady Senators miss out on a chance to play on their home floor.
They also beat us in the championship game of the volleyball sectional too, if I remember right. They have really been a thorn in our side on the ladies' side. So they're a good team. I mean, with that, they got some good players. I mean, we were going to have to play well to beat them, and we shot 22.9% from the field, 1 of 14 from behind the arc. You know, they didn't shoot a whole lot better. They were only 8 of 29 inside the arc, 3 of 5 from triple. So, 32.4%. But the big stat is free throws.
Yeah.
Free throws and turnovers. They went 30 of 38 for 79%. So
let's run down some individual scoring here. Coach Russell will probably be a while before he makes his way out talking to his team right now. I'm sure a very emotional locker room, as Lady Cougars prevail again, winning their 3rd sectional title in program history. Now 21-5 on the year, and they'll be back here next Saturday morning, as I believe they will play in the first game against the winner of the South Central sectional, which will likely be the Lady Rebels, which could be a very good and entertaining ball game here. Let's run down the scoring for the Lady Cougars tonight in their championship run. 4 players in double figures for those starters here tonight, led by Abby Hackman, who strikes again. She had 14 on the night and was a big threat on the boards as well. And all this free throw shooting was evenly dispersed among the Lady Cougar basketball players. Hackman shot 10 on the night. She goes 8 out of 10 as part of her 14-point effort, 12 apiece for Piper Acton and Savannah Harwager, and 11 for Sydney Janes. 3 for Jody Gerker at the point. Off the bench, Savannah Setti, Maddie Bell, Emma Gerker, Delaney Machino, and Lauren Fleetwood all play. Some of those in the late seconds when it was all but said and done. Machino with 1, Maddie Bell with 2 in reserve roles. The others go scoreless on the night. Stat of the game, in my opinion, 30 of 38.
Agreed.
You heard me. On the Lady Senator home floor, the visitors come in, even though they were the home team on the scoreboard, they shoot 30 of 38 from the free throw line.
That's over half their points.
Yep, to get the job done here tonight as they win by 21, but 30 of those points again coming from the free throw line for 79%. Get this, they were just 1 of 2 at the half. 23 turnovers on the night, 12 in the first half, 11 in the second half of play for the Lady Cougars. Meanwhile, for the Lady Senators, their season ends a positive year. They were the Henryville tip-off tourney champs back in November at the beginning of the year, and they were able to tie a school record with 16 wins. They finished the year at 16-9 overall. Starters.
It's one of our highest finishes in the conference in a while too, isn't it? Is it? We finished 3rd.
Yeah.
Or is that about what we have been?
About,
I just think we've been
about where we've been.
Yeah.
Hattie Griffiths on the night, 2 points, 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Ryan Russell with 4 points, 1 field goal, 2 of 2 from the charity stripe. Chelsea Carter ends her career as a Lady Senator. The senior goes out with 5 points to match her jersey number here tonight. She was 3 of 6 from the free throw line and 1 field goal. She had the first basket of the ball game to give the Lady Senators their only lead of the night. Maddie Bausman with 4 points on the night. Did not score in the second half of play. Cass Keltner with 13 points, the only double-digit scorer for the Lady Senators here this evening, and she went 3 of 5 from the charity stripe. Off the bench, everybody that dressed played here tonight. Cora Miller, Taylor Fouch, Bailey Roll, Allie Brown, Gracie Abel, Sarah Stice, Alexi Griffiths all get into the ball game. Fouch scores 3 off the bench. Miller, another senior who sees her career come to a close here at West Washington, with 2 points on the night. Bailey Roll, Allie Brown scoreless in their final games here for the Lady Senators. Lady Senators go 11 of 16 from the free throw line for 69% overall, just 3 of 6 in the first half of play. They commit 9 turnovers in the first half and 11 in the second half for a total of 20 on the night. Scoring after the first quarter again, Lady Senators get the quick basket as it was Carter who got the first layup of the night, made it 2-0, and then a 13-0 run for the Lady Cougars after that first basket by Carter, and they rolled to a 13-4 first quarter lead after the first stop. Lady Senators bounce back in the second quarter, 7-3, and they make it interesting, down 5 in a low-scoring affair at 16-11 at the halftime break. Third quarter, though, belongs to the Lady Cougars. They outscore West Washington 20-15 in that third quarter of play, and then the Lady Senators only able to muster 8 points in that final quarter of play, and again, all of those coming from the free throw line as they get outscored 19-8. Get this, though, between the two teams, just 1 field goal in the fourth quarter, that coming from Maddie Bell. Everything else from the free throw line as the Lady Senators fall hard here tonight. 55-34 is your final. We'll step aside, get a word in from another sponsor. We'll come back, let Coach Gibson run down the rest of the team shooting and rebounding statistics in this one And as you listen to coverage of Sectional 62's championship match, Lady Cougars prevail tonight over the Lady Senators. 55-34 is your final. Back with more right after this.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet, and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight, alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Back to roll on with more of our Ace Hardware of Salem Lady Senator post-game wrap-up here from the championship match in Sectional 62. Lady Senators fall in a heartbreaker for the second straight year in championship play as they drop the decision to the Lady Cougars tonight. 55-34 the final. Coach, you got the rest of our team statistics.
Yeah, actually one of the weirder stats is we shot 10 of 34 from inside the arc for 29%. Trinity Lutheran shoots 8 of 29 inside the arc for 28%. So we couldn't throw it in the ocean, but we actually we shot just a little bit better than them from inside the arc. Now, from triple land, that's a totally different story. They went 3 of 5, very efficient in their triples, 60%. So they shot 32.4% on the night, whereas we shot 1 of 14 from behind the arc. We just, basically from the halfway mark of the season, we couldn't throw it in the ocean from behind the arc. So we were 7% behind the arc. So that gives us a 22.9% field goal percentage on the night. And you couple that with the amount of free throws that they shot in the second half, the amount of turnovers, and those things just don't add up to a sectional title. So, you know, they like you said, shot 30 of 38. 23, is that right? No, 29 of 36 in the second half. That is amazing. So, you know, I think it goes right there. And we out-rebounded them in the first matchup. That must have been a point of emphasis because they kind of worked us on the boards. They held a 10 rebounding edge, 32-22 against the Lady Senators tonight. And a lot of them were offensive boards there in the second half. We couldn't keep them off the boards. So, you know, individually rebounding, Ryan Russell, Maddie Bousman, Cass Keltner each had 4 rebounds. Ryan Russell had 4 steals, Chelsea Carter 2 steals, Cass Keltner 1 steal, and Cass also had 2 blocks. And for them, I mean, just show how, Harwiger had 9 rebounds, Janes 8, Gerker and Hackman each had 5. All 4 of those guys, or ladies, out-rebounded our leading rebounder. So, I mean, they kind of worked us on the board as well. It just basically, we got it down, just like the first matchup, we got it down to a 1-possession game. I think it was 22-19 at one point. And we came down, we actually had the ball. I think we turned it over, if I'm not mistaken. And from then on, it just kind of, the lead stretched and stretched because, like I said, they 29 of 36 from the line, free throw line in the second half. They just lived at the line.
And we watched the net completely come down from this east rim. And, you know, I just, from a player standpoint, Coach, the first 3 years that we played high school ball, we were still in that buzzsaw sectional up at Brownstown with Seymour, with Jennings County and Crothersville and so on and so forth. And losing any time in the tournament is tough, you know, especially if you're bounced early. And that happened 3 straight years, and that was tough. And never had to experience a loss in a title game, I guess, fortunately, but just
it's no fun.
It's no fun from a player or coach's perspective, and we've been on that end as well. With Eastern Green, with football last year, and
Linton a couple times.
Yep.
Well, I guess the one was a second round, but Linton definitely when Dylan Conrad and those guys. I think that was that a final? Yeah, that was a final, sectional final. There's been Milan beat us in the sectional final a couple times. So yeah, it's tough.
But it always burns a little bit more in the gut whenever it's when it's at home, and just the opportunity that for the Lady Senators to have possibly done it here on this home floor and then turn around and be right back at home next Saturday would have been a monstrous advantage. The good news is the way the tournament is laid out and the way the rotations go. Next year, the tournament will go up to Edinburgh, and we'll flip. The boys will be here, and the boys this year at Edinburgh. The good news is, though, for the Lady Senators, is that the regional will be here both this year and next. So opportunities still abound for the.
And we have a lot returning, a lot of experience returning. We're really going to miss those seniors, like you said, Chelsea, Cora, Bailey, Allie. We're going to miss those players, but we do have a lot of experience coming back. This one's going to hurt for a little bit, but we got to get better. We just have to shoot better, I think, and there's a lot of time for that. You don't want to talk about that 10 minutes after the sectional final loss. So, but it is nice to know that regionals here again, and maybe we go up there. This team will be good again with James, and I think they had Acton. Is Acton back? I think
Acton is actually a senior, so they lose Harwager, Gerker, and Acton. They're three out front, and they lose one of their two bigs. So James is left, and he'll have to plug in some holes. So, it's. Of course, we lose four seniors, and you can't take away from what those seniors have done and the time that they've put in and the wins they've been a part of, especially in Coach Russell's time. But
32 wins over the last 2 years. That's nothing to sneeze at.
You like the odds though for. Sometimes you see it on ESPN. They throw out the early favorites after a championship game, and I can't help but look forward to next year and say, based on the rosters and the teams that I've seen here tonight, and with what Crothersville's losing, what little bit they had left over from their championship run last year, what this group from Trinity Lutheran's going to be losing.
Shaw has Grody back. I think they lost everybody else in the starting lineup.
Lost Hesse, so I really like this Lady Senators opportunity and chances next year at Edinburgh, and you would have to think that they would have to be an early favorite.
I would say that the early Vegas line would put the Senators in favorite land, but that's a long time from now. This one, it'll be a while before they get over this one, because I think they really thought they were going to come in here, play well, and get this title, but it just wasn't to be.
We're all in motion right now for the Twin Towers for the Lady Senators is the sophomore and the junior, Maddie and Cass share a hug down below with Sammy.
Boy, how well has Cass played in the last, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Her game has definitely taken shape and started to develop, and her versatility has grown as a player on both ends of the floor, and it's just kind of lost for words right now. I'm not sure what else to say. We still wait for Darren Russell to make his way down. We've run through the scoring and we've run through the stats. I tell you what, let's take another break, and then we'll try to get in maybe a couple of sponsor spots, and maybe by the time we come back, Coach Russell will make his way down and be ready to talk. Most of the girls filing out of the locker room now with a lot of family members waiting outside the door up there. So we'll step aside, take a break, and we'll come back with more of our post-game show coverage right after this word from one of our sponsors.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about Mediview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681. into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
We come once again to the Ron Smith Court. Lady Senators fall here in the sectional 62 championship game, 55-34 to the Lady Cougars. Again, the Lady Cougars will be right back here next Saturday morning for regional play. You have the South Central sectional that feeds into this regional, as well as our sectional here in 62. The Wood Memorial sectional, which was featuring in their championship matchup the defending 1A champs in Wood Memorial, taking on Andy Chin's Northeast DuBois Lady Jeeps. And then you also have the winner coming out of, I believe it's the Lagodi sectional, which was probably likely going to be Vincennes Reveille. So you're looking at a possible lineup of Lutheran out with possibly South Central. One would assume probably DuBois, who was a favorite, even though they were at Wood Memorial.
Yeah, they're at Wood.
And Reveille, which we know what they've done in the past with Tim Young and now with a new coach. So
could be some ratings. So that's a tough team.
It will be an absolute buzzsaw of a regional here, and the times it seems like that we've hosted the regional coach, it's been a steady group of four.
I mean, you're talking about all four of those teams at one time were ranked in the top 10, if I'm not mistaken. I think DuBois was 10th. You know, we got as high as 7th or 8th, I think. Vincennes Reveille has been, I'm not sure, it might have been number 1 at some point this year, but they're 2nd or 3rd. You know, South Central's in the top 10 as well. So you're right. That is 4 of the top 10 teams in this regional. That's a, like you said, that's a buzzsaw. DuBois is right there. You know, it'd have been nice to get a shot at some of those top teams, but you know that obviously Lutheran earned this win. We got to keep that one in the back of our mind, kind of like the football team. We keep, you know, obviously we keep Linton and now Eastern Green in the back of our minds. And how do we beat them the next year? And that's what's going to happen.
The final Class Single A, Class A poll for the season finished with Reveille at number 2 behind Marquette Catholic. So Vincennes Reveille finished the regular season at number 2.
2, South Central.
And nope, it was actually Lagodi finishing at 5th.
Really?
And then, so you had 2 of the top 5 teams going at it up at Lagodi in that sectional. South Central finished 6th. And then you had Trinity Lutheran at 9, West Washington at 10, and DuBois at 13. So
now.
You've got 4.
I mean, that's a pretty good lineup, though.
Yeah, it's going to be
Lagodi
hard.
must have really came on. I thought they were kind of struggling earlier in the year. I mean, not struggling, but you know, they were definitely weren't in the top 10, but they must have really turned it on.
Again, here tonight, Lady Senators just muster 1 player in double figures. Meanwhile, 4 of the 5 starters for
That's
the
what
Lutheran.
I was going to point that out. Just to say, when we got back to the game, because I was just kind of looking on mine, would they have 14, 12, 12, and 11, something like that? And you know, we struggled to get 1. That's kind of the tail of the tape. How they could hurt us, and they did hurt us in a variety of ways from the line. Defensively, we struggled, you know, against their bigs. You know, we needed to have a good game against their bigs. Coach, and you talked about it in the pregame that we needed to have a big game and be aggressive and go at their bigs. Well, and we kind of got them into some foul trouble, but it just seemed like we just couldn't get anything going. And then
it was odd because you're right. We got them in early foul trouble. Harwager had 3 in the first half. Acton had 3 in the first half, and Janes had 3 in the first half of play. Hackman did. Janes had 2. So you have their 4 top scorers all in foul trouble, and it was almost like at that point we become, I don't want to say content, that's because I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm trying to say, but you're right, it's almost like we stopped being the aggressor and going after those girls, and we were able to do that in that comeback bid back in January. We actually got Gerker fouled out of the ball game as well as Sydney Janes.
Did any of them foul out tonight?
None of them fouled out.
Wow,
Janes finished with 4, and Acton finished with 4. And
either
Gerker
did a really good job of running them in and out to keep them out of foul trouble, or like you said, we kind of got past them a little bit. When we couldn't knock down shots, I think I even mentioned it, you could just see the confidence, and like they were looking at each other and said, who's going to hit a shot? And maybe that played into a part of that passiveness that everybody was kind of waiting for somebody else to do it, and you just can't do that. And when you're not a confident team, it shows in a variety of ways.
We're going to take our final break of the night. Doesn't look like Coach Russell's probably going to make his way out. So we'll take our final break. We'll come back and wrap up our coverage of Lady Senator basketball for the 2017-2018 campaign. And we'll name our player of the night. You're listening to Lady Senator basketball coverage here in the Sectional 62 Championship matchup, where tonight they fall to Trinity Lutheran 55-34 the final. Back for the final time right after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks. We just bought a fixer-upper, and I don't know where to begin. So I went to see Paul at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nate we have everything he needs to help him repair their home, from a wide selection of paint colors, craftsman tools, and the best lawn and garden brands.
Ace is a place with exactly what you need, starting with help.
Save big all month long on Red Hot buys at Ace Hardware of Salem. Find current savings at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
Unfortunately, here on the Ron Smith Court, it's the Lady Cougars celebrating some good times here tonight as they claim their 3rd title in program history. In 2013, 2014, they got back-to-back titles, and so they break a 4-year drought as they claim the title here tonight over the Lady Senators. Again, 55-34 the final time. To name our Ace Hardware player of the night, and that's going to go to Cassidy Keltner, our sophomore forward. She finishes the night with 13 points. She averages just 8.9 per game, but she pulled down 4 rebounds to go along with her 13 points, had 2 blocks and a steal. So congratulations to sophomore Cassidy Keltner, our Ace Hardware player of the night. As we look to wrap things up here from the friendly confines, and we'll now turn our attention to the rest of the boys' slate of games, and that'll start Tuesday night down at Borden. We talked about that with Coach Smith earlier today, as they'll have a return match against the Braves, a game that was an overtime thriller in the consolation game of the holiday tourney in Salem back in mid-December. The Senators riding high after today's big win over Scottsburg, 63-44 the final in that one, getting career highs from Parker Green and Harrison Sanford. And you just hope that the boys were all in attendance tonight. They were over in the cheer block. They were loud. Tried to be as disruptive as they could for the girls from the cheer block standpoint. But you just hope that they've watched this now, and maybe that's enough to kind of add a little fuel to their fire and burn in the gut as they'll head up to Edinburgh at the end of the month for their tournament.
What do we got? We got Tuesday,
Friday this week.
Tuesday, Friday at Borden, right?
At Borden, and I believe back home with Crothersburg.
And honestly, we talked about it. I think that might have been one of our most complete ball games today, as we're talking about the boys' game. So hopefully we can build on that. And like I said, the first time we played them at the holiday tournament, they beat us in overtime without our point guard. I don't have it right, or is that Nick? No, it was Holden, right?
Yep.
We didn't have Holden, our point guard. So hopefully, and obviously, that's been a month ago, more than a month. So they probably have improved, and I know we've improved. Definitely our shootings. Doing the stats after every game, you can tell the shooting, and we even said it at the beginning of the year that sooner or later those shooting stats will start to go up, and they are. But one thing I liked about today was against Scottsburg is our defensive pressure and the way, other than a few turnovers here and there, I thought we played smart and really good effort. And hopefully we can go over there Tuesday and continue to start a winning streak, basically.
Boys moved to 7-10 on the year with the big win against 63-44 is your final earlier today here on the Ron Smith Court as they took care of business against Scottsburg. The D train, David Deaton, coming through with some scores for me here from area play, as we must have heard us talking about some upcoming regional action here on the Ron Smith Court next Saturday morning. And South Central over Rock Creek, they romp tonight over Rock Creek, 63-41 the final. Vincennes Reveille, the number 2 team in Class 1A, beats Bar Reeve up at Lagodi 54-33. So both of those teams running away with their own tournaments. And then Du Bois defeating Wood Memorial at Wood Memorial 35-30. So that one a little bit tighter. But again, you got 4 of the top 13 teams in Class 1A that'll be in the house.
So do they know the draw yet? Who's playing who yet?
I believe it's the South Central winner against the winner of this sectional,
So
which would be,
Lutheran
I believe, the
against South
first
Central?
game. Yep. So that could be a very
Yeah,
entertaining
that
game.
will be interesting.
And then Du Bois and Reveille, no strangers to one another.
Right.
And so, I don't know, it could be a good day of basketball here on tap in regional play. Just wish the Lady Senators were here to take part in it. We've named our player of the night. So with that said, Coach, final comment?
Well, it's obviously great year. Not the finish that you want, but a great year. Anytime you tie the record for most wins, 16 wins, that's 32 in 2 years. So these ladies have accomplished a lot, and we're really going to miss the seniors, but I'm also very excited about what's coming back.
Coach, we'll see you down at Borden on Tuesday night.
Absolutely.
Short drive for Coach Gibson on Tuesday night as we'll be down at Borden to take on the Braves with our pregame show coverage to start somewhere around 7:10 as usual with our Senator Tip-Off pregame show brought to you by John Jones GM City. As we wrap things up, we thank you, the fans, for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Lady Senator basketball here in the Sectional 62 Championship game, where tonight they fall. Again, 55-34 is the final. We want to give a final shout out and thank you to all the sponsors that made this and every broadcast that we were able to bring to you of Lady Senator basketball possible this season. Glad to be along for the ride after the holiday break. Kind of ironic, we end our season of Lady Senator coverage with Trinity Lutheran, and that's who we started with back on January 4th. But our sponsors include John Jones GM City, our pregame show sponsor, our halftime report brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, and your postgame coverage tonight brought to you by Ace Hardware of Salem. Also, Marie Lowry and McDonald's on South Main Street, Walmart and Salem, as well as Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and Brady Bishop with